Hello, it's Philip Taylor speaking from Richmond Green Chambers. This afternoon I'm looking at a book which has come to us from Jordan Publishing Limited, and it's an important book. It's part of their family law imprint, and it's this book here. It's called Same-Sex Marriage and Civil Partnerships, The New Law. It's been written by a number of people: Mark Harper, S. Chelvan, Martin Downs, Katherine Landells and Gerald Wilson. This is what the book looks like. That's the front, there's the spine, and there's the back. It's part of their Family Law New Law series, and it's also available as an e-book, so do have a look at the Jordan's website. This is the index which is at the back. We'll start there. You can see it's a detailed index. Then you've got quite a large amount of legislation which is included in the appendices. Then you have the basic structure of the book, which is to be expected. Is paragraph numbering at the sides and very detailed, very important footnotes, which are extremely helpful. And it's obviously looking at what is a delicate area of law for many people even now. That's actually the front of it, and then it's worth reading. There's a very sweet dedication, and then there is a preface which is there, and a list of abbreviations, which again is very helpful to get an idea of what's happened. Then you can see the contents of the book itself running through. It's there's a lot of information in this: rights and responsibilities, the obligations and so forth, and tables of cases, the new cases, plus the appendix itself with some information. Then we launch into various statutes, and then there is a good introduction just to start things off. As I say, this is an important book. It's dealing with what has been hitherto very contentious area for many people within the country, but things have changed quite dramatically, and we now have new legislation and new policies that are being pursued by this and probably future governments. Let me give you the title that we've given this work. We've said it's an authoritative commentary and an examination of the law on same-sex marriage and civil partnerships. Obviously in the past we've had some literature concerning the concept of civil partnerships and how they work, but this is going one step further now that the marriage issue for same-sex marriage has come about. And this is what we say: 9 years after the Civil Partnership Act of 2004 and the Marriage Same-Sex Couples Act of 2013, which came into effect in March 2014, only about 4 or 5 months ago since I'm producing this video, quite a lot of things have changed. How commendable then, and certainly useful for the legal profession, that as part of their new law series from Jordan's, they produced this scholarly, detailed and readable book on these two pieces of legislation, the latter of which can be considered brand new, of course. As the authors explain, the book draws, where appropriate, on statute and case law, and in particular the relevant European Convention on Human Rights jurisprudence. The position of cohabitees is also examined, in other words those living together but not either within the civil partnership or the marriage concepts. Whatever their orientation, therefore, their legal position has remained untouched by the reforms. Again, that's something that may well raise its head again at some later date. I've no doubt it will. Confining itself, therefore, to an explanation of the two pieces of legislation as they concern England and Wales, the book's main objective is to explain both new laws, referring where appropriate to statute and case law, as well as the relevant European Convention on Human Rights. Of abiding interest and concern, of course, is the new Act, which is this Marriage Same-Sex Couples Act 2013. The authors have endeavoured to provide perspective and guidance as to its likely meaning, which I think is helpful, in anticipation of consequent problems and difficulties, and very helpfully at note 5.50 the book presents a table provided by the Department of Culture, Media and Sport, which sets out the similarities and differences between civil partnerships and same-sex marriage. And that, I think, will be helpful for any student who's looking at this legislation afresh. Within about 600 pages then, the book examines legislation over 11 chapters. Particularly interesting is the introduction, which discusses the progress of, or lack of it, towards enacting similar legislation in a number of other countries. The common thread here is controversy, sometimes leading to acceptance, sometimes not. Of course, the subject matter of the book ranges from the context of the lesbian, gay, bisexual and transsexual law reform through to such matters as registration, the financial consequences of termination, immigration and asylum, and incapacity and death. Issues of rights and responsibilities are also covered. So there is a range of detail which hitherto we didn't really have much commentary on, so thank you very much to the authors for that. There is much to admire in this volume, including its research resources. In addition to the table of cases, statutes and statutory instruments, the text of the 2013 Act is published in its entirety in the appendix, which also includes relevant extracts of the earlier 2004 Act. I think the book is aimed at and will be immensely helpful to a range of specialist lawyers, including family lawyers, housing, immigration and asylum lawyers and chancery lawyers, handling or advising on inheritance claims. And the publication date is cited at May 2014, and I've actually recorded this in the summer of 2014. Let me just remind you of what the book looks like. There it is again. As I say, it's heavy. It's just under 600 pages, the back. And as I say, just open it up and you can see rights and responsibilities in the middle. You've got a very good idea of, as I say, the paragraph numbering and the footnotes, very helpful indeed. And as I've indicated before, I think the introduction sets the historic position as to where we've got to with this particular subject matter in a reasonable context. As I've said before, I think we should thank the authors very much, and Jordan's, for publishing what is a bit of a pathfinder of a book in many ways, but I certainly think it's very helpful if you have clients that you need to advise in this particular area of law. So thank you to all concerned. Do look at our review, which is on the web and in the journals. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.